That one's picked up by number 12, but looks like we're going to have a bit of an issue with the rosters here. I don't see a number 12 on mine, but we'll try to track down the name there. But Coquitlam going to start the ball from the 29.
Looks like that was Oliver Harkness, I think, number 12 there. Vernon, the blue, getting the ball to start the game here with the pink socks. I don't know if that's a regular part of their outfit or if they just forgot that it's not October anymore, but interesting trim option there.
I actually got the teams backwards, my friend. Did I? Thank you for correcting me, by the way. So, yes, it will be Vernon in the blue with the white trim, and then, of course, Coquitlam in the black or white with the black trim down the side. Let's get things going here. Some football action as we hand it off. Run to the left side there, and Caden O'Dwyer picks up a couple of yards on the run.
So it'll be interesting to see what the offenses look like here in this 9-man version of football. Typically what happens is that you have a 3-man offensive line instead of your normal 5, and then you've got one fewer receiver running back type on the field. So what you will see a lot of the time is you'll see just a 3-man offensive line and a bunch of receivers spread out. What Vernon is opting to do is run with double tight ends here and run a little bit more of a run-oriented formation. So be interesting to see if that's what they're going to stick with all afternoon or if we'll see some different looks from them.
All right, now Vernon on first down and on second down, and they get to run. Looks like they're going to pick up first down there, maybe about a yard or two.
It's clear pretty early on who they want to establish on offense here, and that's Caden O'Dwyer, big number 20, running hard, a big physical runner it looks like, and been able to move the ball without throwing yet.
So first down, fresh set of downs here for Vernon on the 37-yard line. And, yeah, this is a full day of action here on Sports Canada TV. Kicking things off here with the junior Bantam 9-man. Yeah, field's a little bit smaller as well. You can see the boundary line is the red line there. So when you get a shot, you can see the far shot there and the telestrator.
Yeah, the 9-man game is played. This is the American width field. So fortunately, this facility is marked for both. The local high school right next to us here, Langley Secondary, plays here as well. So it's an easy transition.
So Brock Warner now under center. And it's Josh Vandenberg, and Vandenberg picking up some good yardage. Look at this, hugging the sideline. He's going to get himself deep into the Coquitlam territory.
Sweet little counter play that they had on the go there, as it looked like the quarterback, Brock Warner, was going to keep it himself going to the right side. And he just kind of deftly hands it off to Josh Vandenberg. Really well executed misdirection there for Vernon, and they got Coquitlam on their heels here early.
So Vernon now with another fresh set of downs, working off or into the Coquitlam zone, that is.
So tell me, Andrew, have you ever seen a quarterback wearing number 47?
I have not seen a quarterback wear number 47. Had to double take myself. Thought maybe they were just doing some wildcat as they hand off the ball there. That's Caden O'Dwyer once again, and he runs the ball up the gut.
This seems to be kind of their bread and butter play, and O'Dwyer, when he gets the ball on this run play, loves to cut it back against the grain to the right side. It looks like it's designed to go left, and then O'Dwyer likes to cut it back against the grain and hit that seam, and that's you see zone run at the higher levels, and that's often what you see end up happening there. You get a collapse down from the backside, opens up a crease. That's what O'Dwyer's been hitting here so far today.
So here we are now, second down, about a yard or so to go, and fake it to O'Dwyer. And he goes for the run by himself. Warner, I don't know if he got far enough, though, for that first down. We'll have to see.
Nope, going to be third and short here, as he's just, he might have lost about a half a yard there. It looked like it was a little bit of a miscommunication or a bobble in the backfield there. And so he felt that he had to take it himself and comes up just a little short. Interesting decision here. It looks like no hesitation from the Vernon coaching staff to keep the offense on the field here. You never know at this level what kind of kicking game is even available to these teams. Some will have a good, strong one. Some will not.
So Warner now out of the shotgun. He's got Dwyer in the backfield, 2 to his left, and, yeah, hands it right off to Dwyer. He goes up the gut. That's going to be a first down. And maybe a couple more for Vernon.
Good fundamentals there by O'Dwyer. He hits the pile, and he just keeps running his feet until he is no longer on them. Really good stuff for younger runners out there to watch and take note of.
I do like those pink socks on Vernon. Very well done.
I think they should lean into it. They should integrate it into the uniform.
Absolutely. Too. Absolutely. Maybe a stripe down the side, maybe the helmets. Mm-hmm. Well, they can consult with us afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, I am an expert, a self-appointed expert in this field. So.
All right, here we go now. First down, and they hand this off. It's going to be a bobble. It's hit the turf, but it looks like Vernon able to get it. Oliver Harkness put the pigskin on the turf, but able to jump back on it. Woof. Got a scare there for Vernon.
Yeah, they were trying to run a sweep to Harkness, who's one of the receiver/wing types, so he motions a little bit early to try to hand it off to him, and he just – so when you're taking the handoff, what you want to do is you want to put your two arms parallel to the ground, one at your belt, one at your nipples. And what he did there is he reached for the ball, and his hands didn't get it clean, and there was nowhere else for it to go.
Did not think we were going to be talking about nipples on the broadcast today, but here we are as they hand it off now. Try to sweep out to the right. That's Tanner Carr, and he's going nowhere. Good defensive play there by Vernon. Patricio Custo-Leon in on the tackle.
I had prepared all sorts of nipple notes for when we were
Gotcha.
going to be open air press box, and then I
Gotcha.
realized it was enclosed and properly heated today.
Yeah,
so.
it's kind of warm in here, actually.
It's nice.
We're going to call Custo-Leon PCL, all right, for the rest of this game here. PCL there. I feel like number 2 is going to be in on a lot of defensive plays. Got it.
So Vernon third and long now. Yeah, it looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field. They tried a couple outside runs, both of which have been stuffed. So it'll be interesting to see if they take to the air here for the first time.
So Warner, nope, hands it off and tries to go with his lead blocker, but kind of goes around him. That's Vandenberg, I believe.
So that was the play that Vandenberg busted. It was the same play that Vandenberg busted for that about 40-yard big chunk play earlier.
Yeah.
But Coquitlam, having seen it now, their defensive back there does a great job of coming and setting the edge. Vandenberg just outruns his blocker a little bit as he gets to the point of attack, number 50 there. Had he cut up in behind that, he might have still had a chance. But the challenge with that play is that your receiver on those reverses is used to hitting the outside and being an outside runner there. And if somebody sets the edge properly, he's forced to cut inside of that. Sometimes he's not quite ready for that, and that looked to be the case there.
We got an injury on the field. Is hobbling off. That's
28.
So that's Owen West for Vernon. Just a slight limp going off the field there.
So Coquitlam's offense takes the field. Patricio Cuesta-Leon is the quarterback there, number 2. He's a guy that when I was doing the broadcast for the Zone Bowl, the regional Zone Bowls here for BCPFA last spring, he was the name that kept popping off the screen. So
good.
A guy to keep an eye on here for this Coquitlam offense. They run double tight as well.
And hands it off there. Picked up a couple yards on the play. And that's Tavon Simon. And just a few yards, so still second down now.
Did have a flag on the play here, and I think they're gesturing towards Coquitlam. They're going to back this up 5, it looks like.
So, yeah, they'll move it back. Still on first down for Coquitlam. Cuesta-Leon rallying the troops here as we try to get our first points on the board. Still a long way to go, though, for Coquitlam. As PCL now under center. Got a man in motion. That's McNamara, and he goes to pass, goes right out there, hits his man. That's James Bennett, and James Bennett gets tackled, gang tackled there by Vernon. Going to be just a couple of yards, still second down.
Yeah, good little pickup there after putting themselves behind the sticks. I think the call on first down there was that one of the linemen was still getting into his stance as they started their motion, which you were not allowed to do. Good chunk by Coquitlam to pick it up and get back to 2nd and 8 or so here, and the first pass of the game so far.
Dayton Orr and Caden O'Dwyer in on the tackle there for Vernon, so we'll see. PCL now. He's a lefty, and he's got an arm on him as well. Look at this, and he finds his man. That's Alec McNamara. What a catch, what a toss. Coquitlam is in deep into Vernon's territory.
So interesting, both teams using essentially 5-man offensive lines and taking away skill players to run their offense. And you figure, like we saw with Vernon, that if that's what you're going to do, it's because you want to run the ball heavily. Well, Coquitlam says to heck with that and puts it over the top. And that was a beautiful football.
Talk about the lefty. He's got a bit of a cannon on him there. Cuesta-Leon hooking up with his man McNamara. Not only a great toss, fantastic catch as well. So Coquitlam knocking on the door now, trying to get into the red zone. And shotgun. So a slight little toss there, just can't pick it up. Tavon Simon with the bobble.
We've already seen a version of that play a couple times as they just leak the back out of the backfield. It's almost like a half screen look and just a quick dump off pass, and that time Simon just not quite able to reel it in.
So here we are now, 2nd and 10. Coquitlam trying to be the first to scratch the scoreboard. Cuesta Leon under center. He's got a man in motion, one back behind him. Hands it off and just, goes right by the defender, but ends up getting taken down by the next man. But a good little run there by Simon.
So that's a call that you make in 2nd and 10, knowing that you're going to keep the offense on the field in third down, I should say. And so 3rd and a long 6 to pick up here. But as we've seen already in this game, Coquitlam has the ability to take big chunks when they want to. So,
you expecting pass here?
I would be expecting pass here, yeah.
Man in motion there. That's number 32, Quinn Chesholm. Cuesta Leon throws it up. He's got a man there. Oh, my! Tries to make the catch, but can't haul it in. That's all a member of the all-name team. Wisdom Flomo there was the intended receiver. PCL couldn't connect with him.
Yeah, I got a couple flags down. I think he's going to get dinged for pass interference there as the defender. I thought it was a pretty good play, but the last piece of the puzzle that he doesn't get is he does not turn his head around to look at and play the ball. I didn't have a huge problem with the play at the point of attack, but it looks like we're not going to.
Yeah, this was the last catch, so we'll see if we can get the replay there as they dial it back up. 3rd and 7 now.
So anyway, it's going to be, with the penalty, it's going to be
yeah, that's right. Here. There we go. Yeah, for first down, new set of downs here for Coquitlam.
At about the 14-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw too much pass interference there, but regardless, Coquitlam will take it as PCL now hands it off. Right up the gut once again. That's Simon, who picks up a few yards.
Yeah, gain about 4 on first down, and one of the things about the 3-down game is there's a couple different approaches to it. If you're going to play it as an orthodox Canadian football approach, then 4 yards a run is short of what you really want to get, right? You only have 2 working downs in the orthodox Canadian approach.
Yeah.
But we've seen zero indication from either of these two teams that they're planning on kicking today.
Yeah.
So I think this is very much more of an American coaching style in that you are calling your plays based on 3 offensive downs. And if that's the case, 4 yards on first down, pretty solid pickup.
Not so bad. So we got injury on the field at the moment. As you see
that is Simon himself down.
Yeah, the shot of the Coquitlam offense there. Some big kids on the offensive line. I know you like the Hogs there, Gordo.
Yeah, I was impressed with the size on both sides coming out, and I got to be honest, I'm impressed because I had fully braced myself for, okay, we're going to cut down on the offensive linemen, we're going to see 6 receivers and 3 offensive linemen and just chuck and pray, but
So you like seeing the bulk out there, do you?
Oh yeah,
yeah, all
absolutely,
right.
absolutely. If you look at Coquitlam's got a really interesting setup on their offense right now because you'll see they've got 5 guys on the line, 4 of which are like true offensive line types, and then they've got one who's more of a tight end type, number 18 there, James Bennett, on one side. And so interesting because like the 2 guys on the end of the line of scrimmage could be eligible. So what you can then do is you can then start to get creative with that, right? Bennett can pass block for a second and then leak out once the blocker gets by or the rusher gets by him. There's a lot of things that you can do there. So really creative approach, I think, for Coquitlam, where they kind of have a strong side and then they have that tight end that can leak out on the backside if people forget that he's also a receiver.
Yeah, the sort of nuances of the 9-man game. So PCL now in shotgun. He's got Flomo to his left. And he moves it on out, and the sweep around, and let's see if the defender can get there, and he does. Beautiful tackle there, Josh Vandenberg saying, no, not in my house.
And what you see is a little bit of a young mistake there for McNamara as he comes around on the sweep, sees the defender in his way, and he tries to bubble backwards to get around him.
Yeah,
And
never a good thing.
And you can see the leverage there. What you always want to do as a ball carrier is you always want to follow what we say follow color, right? So in that situation there, his guy is supposed to get the outside edge, but when he doesn't, he's got to see that, hey, my white guy is on the inside. I got to try and cut up inside of that and at least get what I can get.
So we did all the games yesterday. It was myself and Adam Forsythe. We did not see one attempted field goal in the game, and we have seen our first of the weekend. It's good, but is there there is some laundry on the field.
The line was still getting set, and I think that they're going to back this up 5 again. I don't think Coquitlam's line was set. No, they're going to change their minds.
And there it is. So 3 points on the board, and that's the first score of the game as Coquitlam puts it up and through, and that's PCL Castellion with the field goal. So 3-0 Coquitlam here, 1:33 to go in the first Q. What'd you think of that drive there from the boys in white?
Well, unfortunate for them that it stalled out in the red zone there a little bit. I do think there's a little bit of nerves that I saw on a few different occasions. Linemen not quite getting set, shuffling their feet a little bit. Those types of things are things that once these guys get settled in, that'll be worked out, and you won't see a lot of that anymore. But it was. That's the thing with the 3-down game, though, right? You have one key negative play at the wrong time, and it's enough to kill the entire drive. In that case, they have 2nd and 6 from the 10-yard line, and they lose almost 10, and now all of a sudden you're stuck in a situation where you basically have to kick.
So Vernon now will start from the 35, and it's Warner as he sort of fakes the handoff. Gives it to O'Dwyer, that is. And up the middle, not a whole lot happening there, though.
Yeah, another discombobulated looking play in the Vernon backfield as it looked like Warner was expecting O'Brien to be doing something different initially.
Yeah.
And then it ended up almost looking like a draw play because they actually handed it off to each other so late in the play. So it looks like Vernon's going to call a little timeout here and try and get organized.
So as Vernon does that, we'll step out for a moment. 3-0 for Coquitlam here at the 9-man Junior Bantam Provincial Championship on Sports Canada TV. All right, welcome back to McLeod Stadium here at McLeod Athletic Park in Langley, BC. The Bantam 9-man Junior Bantam Championship here on Sports Canada TV. As it's 2nd down now for Vernon. Shotgun snap for Warner. He's got one back in the backfield. He hands it off, and that's O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer going nowhere. Beautiful tackle there as Coquitlam flexing its muscles on D.
You got a 3rd and long situation for Vernon here, and they are well within their own end. It'll be interesting to see. I feel like at some point today they're going to have to show that they can at least attempt to pass the ball. I mean, if you watched Army-Navy yesterday, I know most of our audience was watching this yesterday.
Absolutely.
But if you were watching the Army-Navy game yesterday, even those teams that are notorious for running the ball have to pass sometimes, and it looks like that's what Vernon's showing right now.
Wow, look at this. Some plums from Vernon as they toss this one up. This is not going to get you a first down as Coquitlam defenders are in pursuit. PCL right there as well. That kid's doing it all, offense and defense.
Yeah, pass was complete there, but it was underthrown and fluttered a little bit, and Vandenberg had to come back to it, and it was just not enough. Very quick possession for Vernon here as they go 3 and out. And Coquitlam takes over in prime field position here on the Vernon 36-yard line. Questleon, by the way, right in the middle of that on both sides of the ball. Right in on coverage there.
Now, of course, you're a head coach, Sullivan Heights. Would you have made that call there?
Well, there's call and then there's execution of the call, right? And if you are in third and 10 situation or a 4th and 10 situation in my game, there's not a lot of stuff that you have in the playbook to draw on there.
A big run here as he breaks through the line. Is one guy to beat, and he can't. Great tackle there. Tanner Carr saving 6 on the board, but oh my, what a run from Tavon Simon as Coquitlam now looking to add to their lead.
Right up the gut by Tavon Simon, and he gets into the second level and makes a couple guys miss right at the point of attack there. Ooh.
Look at this, what a tackle. Just was able to get it, and
that's a great chase tackle technique from Tanner Carr there, as when you are in behind the ball carrier and trying to get him down from behind, you want to go low. And I don't just mean knees low, I mean ankles low, and that's exactly what he does. Falls on the back of the ankles, swipes at it, and trips him up.
That's the end of the first Q. Coquitlam with a 3-0 lead, looking to add to it as they get deep in the Vernon zone. We'll step out for just a moment. 3-0 here in the Junior Bantam 9-man Provincial Championship.
Chargers fans, hurry up! Chargers again. Vernon fans, hurry up! Chargers fans, hurry up! Football fans, hurry up! You guys all need more sugar and coffee. Go find the concession stand. Help do that.
Great shot there of McLeod Athletic Park. You can see the rugby and soccer pitches in the background. Also a beautiful baseball diamond here behind us, the home of the Langley Blaze. Lots of different sports going on in the area, but the key one here today is the Provincial Championships, and we have got the Junior Bantam 9-man right now as Coquitlam is looking to put another score on the board, and they go to Simon once again. I got the feeling number 14 is going to get a lot of touches in this game, Gordo.
Yeah, I would agree, although number 88 on defense, Tanner Carr, looks like he might be up to the task here, as he sniffed that one out right away and made the play in the backfield for a loss of a yard or two there. A really, really nice play for the second snap in a row by number 88 in blue.
So let's see if Coquitlam can add to it now. Second down.
Interesting approach there. You would think that if you were ever going to tighten it up and maybe lean a little bit more on power run, that might have been the situation, but they went shotgun, receivers on either side, straight pass. It'll be interesting to see if they do that same thing again here.
Cuesta Leon now. He's got Simon to his left, but we got some laundry on the field.
A little bit early movement there. Looks like the receivers were expecting one snap count, and the quarterback in line were expecting another. That's never a great recipe for success.
So penalty on Coquitlam now. That'll move him back just slightly. As on second down, they kicked a field goal early on. It was Cuesta Leon who has been doing it all. Quarterback, kicker, defense. Keep your eye on number 2. He's the man on the field, as they say.
Be interesting to consider what coach has in mind here, if he's thinking of this as 2-down territory or if he needs to try and get into the end zone here.
So man in motion there, and that's McNamara. Rolls out to his left. The southpaw throws it, and it's up, and it's batted down a little bit there. Not the biggest in stature as Desmond Wishart, but he was able to get himself in there.
Yeah, a little bit. I think Cuesta Leon would probably want that throw back a little bit underthrown into the inside. It looked like his receiver was trying to outbreak towards the sideline, and he just didn't lead him out towards the sideline, brought it back into the middle to the defensive back, and it kind of an easy breakup, actually, for Wishart. So third down, and it was indeed 3-down football that coach had in mind, as he is keeping the offense on the field here from the 13-yard line.
3rd and 13 now, and he looks to air it out. PCL now, no, sees he's got an opening on the left side. Can he beat one man? He can. Touchdown, Coquitlam. PCL into the end zone.
There's really no defense for that. He sets back in the pocket, doesn't like what he sees, finds a crease, and there is nobody home.
Patricio Cuesta Leon with the touchdown. That's going to put 6 more on the board, make it 9-0 now for Coquitlam, and they're looking to add to it.
And about the only thing that you need to do is when you get a hand on that guy in the backfield, you got to try and bring him down, because if you let him escape, that secondary defending is not easy.
So they kick it up, and the kick is good.
Oh, there we go.
Do we see the signal just yet?
I think we might have missed the signal, but yeah, the kick was good. And worth noting at this level,
That's
the
right.
Bantam level, a kicked extra point conversion is worth 2 points, whereas a run or a pass is worth only 1.
So 11-0 now for Coquitlam. The Vernon Magnum Blue trying to get themselves into this game. Haven't seen a whole lot from them offensively, though.
Well, and what you're seeing, yeah, agreed. What you're seeing from Coquitlam is a superlative player who kind of bailed his team out a little bit there, right? If they get stuffed on that in the actual pass play, it kind of got broken up there. But if they get stuffed on that, we're talking how for the second possession in a row, they've rolled down deep into the red zone and they haven't been able to convert it. They only got 3 points out of 2 trips inside the 10-yard line. So Cuesta Leon changes that narrative entirely with that scramble touchdown, and now Vernon's kind of got their backs up against the wall here.
Absolutely.
After a good opening series of plays on offense, they really haven't had much going once it appeared that Coquitlam kind of figured out their bread and butter stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what they've got left in the holster to try and claw back in this one.
So Cuesta Leon will kick things off for Coquitlam as the Chargers looking to win themselves the Junior Bantam Division 9-man Provincial Championship. And that's a squib kick. And it's picked up there. Nice play. Hunter Robinson just pounces right on it like a cat.
That is an excellent job by the frontline guy there on kickoff return, Hunter Robinson, as he plays the ball off the turf. And when it's a little bit wet, these turf surfaces can be really, really challenging to predict. The ball can skip. It can bounce. You never really know what it's going to do. In that case, it stays pretty flat to the ground, and Robinson just eats it up like he should be a receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. Good hands there from number 50. So let's see what the offense can do here for Vernon.
They're going to get some help here, too. I think there might have been a late hit at the end of that play because they're going to run this up 15. And let's hope. It looks like they're walking with the kickoff tee. Let's hope somebody catches that. Yep, there we go.
We're going to start the series from Coquitlam's 40-yard line. And
so Vernon in a prime opportunity to claw one back here. They're going to have to get something going on offense.
Yeah, this feels like a series they got to score on.
Yeah, even if you just add 3 at this point in time and get on the board, make it back to a one-score game, I think you're feeling a lot better about yourself. But this is about where they got it to on their opening drive before they stalled out. They're going to need to move this a good 20, maybe 30 more yards before even 3 is a possibility, I would think.
So 11-0 now as Vernon starts off on offense. They hand the ball off. That's Caden O'Dwyer. And O'Dwyer now, excuse me.
Wow.
Yeah, good run there. Excuse me. It was Caden O'Dwyer on the run. Good run there from number 20. And going to want to dial things up for them.
This is clearly the engine of the Vernon offense here. Caden O'Dwyer. They pull the guard around number 68 there. You can see in front of him. He does a great job of scooping the edge defender, grabbing the edge for his guy, and then O'Dwyer does the rest. And this is not a guy that you're going to want to tackle up high around the shoulders like that. He's a big boy who runs with some steam.
McNamara getting
great start to the drive for Vernon.
Yeah, McNamara getting the tackle there as they got a man in motion now. Warner hands it back off to O'Dwyer. He's going to go right up the gut and just bully ball it. And takes, oh my goodness, 2 to 3 guys still can't take him down. And that's PCL. Cuesta Leon able to get in on the tackle, bully balling his way through the line there was O'Dwyer.
Kind of cool there. They run the exact same offensive play, but O'Dwyer, you can see how a play can just turn out very differently depending on what the defense gives you. This time, O'Dwyer sees his seam up the middle, and it looks like he's hitting it right up the B gap instead of around the outside. And then again,
high tackles, right? Yeah. Get those legs. Get down low.
Well, and somebody must have told O'Dwyer that, hey, we really need to score on this drive because he is getting after it.
So here's Warner once again. He's got O'Dwyer in the backfield, and hand it off to him once again. Let number 20 do his business, but PCL says, no, sir. You're not going to get that far.
So same play, and they flipped it going the other side. So one of the tells that I've picked up on so far here with Vernon. Be interesting to see if they have something else off of that because that's typically how you design an offense. But when they start in the one receiver on each side, motion one so that both receivers are on the same side, they're giving that pull the guard counter play to O'Dwyer. They've done that 4 or 5 times so far this afternoon. So Coquitlam was able to make the stop when it was going the other way there, and we got second and goal from the 8 here.
Yeah.
So let's see if that motion comes and if it's something different this time.
All right, Warner, shotgun again. And looked like a little hesitation there, but he throws it in, almost picked off. right between the fingers of Wisdom Flomo, and he's going to have some FOMO after that one.
It
was going to happen eventually. I was going to do it
Yeah.
eventually.
He had his guy. Watch, you got right up the seam there, number 82, and he just
Look at that.
doesn't put it in the right place. To be honest, I think he panicked and threw it just a little bit too quickly there. I think had he waited another second, it actually would have opened up more, and he could have just floated it into that deep 20-yard end zone.
Third down now. Let's see what they do. They hand it back off and tries to get right up in there. Beautiful tackle. McNamara went low this time and then saved any points going on the board.
And that's that run play that I was talking about. They motioned the receiver over to the second side. The one difference there is the guard didn't pull. So I don't know if the backside guard missed his call there or if that was kind of just a variation on the same play. But without that extra lead blocker in front of him, O'Dwyer had to do a lot of the work himself in the backfield and was not able to grind out those last 8 yards that he needed.
So there you have it, turnover on downs. So Coquitlam will start from their own 7-8 yard line. Yeah, 8-yard line.
Now, not all is lost here for Vernon, but they need to get a stop here and take advantage of this long field that they've given Coquitlam. You know, they did run it in nice and deep, so Coquitlam's now got, 102 yards to move the ball. If Vernon can get a stop here and take advantage of that field position, I think they're still feeling okay about their progress. But if Coquitlam's able to turn this into points with such a long field,
that's going to be tough.
Not going to feel great on the other side. So crucial defensive possession here for Vernon if they're going to want to stay in this.
So 7:24 in the first half to go, and good defense early on. And that's right. O'Dwyer, who's doing everything or trying to do everything for Vernon on offense, holding his own on defense as well.
Yeah, that's a really nice play. And what you love to see with that, too, is he makes the tackle, and he immediately puts his hand down to help the running back up off the ground.
As we see the replay there, and chooses not to take the gap, go to the outside, and great play there by O'Dwyer.
Yeah, and O'Dwyer forces that bounce to the outside as well. He was coming downhill hot, which is what Simon saw to make him bounce outside there, and is able to finish the tackle once he makes the running back change direction.
McNamara in motion again. PCL now steps back, and he's looking to go deep. He's got a cannon on him. Look at this toss. Oh, nice my! Looking for Flomo there, and a good takeaway there.
Huge play there. That's Desmond Wissart again. And he's given up some size there to Flomo. He is not the tallest kid, to put it mildly, but watch his left hand here. Gets right in between the hands. That's a beautiful play right at the catch point. Nothing Flomo can do there, really. And that there was nothing wrong with that pass either. That ball fell right into Flomo's hands, but that's a really good breakup by number 4 there in blue.
Cuesta Leon can really toss the ball. So
it looks like punt formation.
Yep.
Here.
So as you mentioned, big defensive series for Vernon. They're able to get to the challenge, and they block the ball. Who's on top of it? It's Vernon. What a play there, as Vernon needed a big play, and they got one as they block the punt, and they're going to start their offensive series knocking on the doorstep of Coquitlam.
This is one of the challenges with punting at this level. You can see that Cuesta Leon is only about 6-7 yards back of the line of scrimmage, whereas
he hit his own man. It looked like there.
He did. So at the high school, college, pro level, your punter's usually at least 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But having a snapper that can snap that far back is really difficult at this level. So you're kind of forced to kind of do a pooch kick thing. And what happens there is his up back. And I think that's who's down right now. I think it's Simon.
It is.
But what happens there is because he's so close to the line of scrimmage, just in his normal punting motion, if his up back doesn't step up towards the line of scrimmage to make his block, you would run into that. And that's exactly what happened. He kicked it right into the leg of his own up back.
At this level, there are certain things that take some time to get to. One of them is definitely kicking. We saw some of that yesterday. Teams just basically didn't want to do it as much. But
well, it's a tough call as a coach, right? Because it's a very expensive. The term we use is expensive, which means that for when you're planning out your practice time, you have to spend a lot of time on something that is a very specific skill that you may or may not use a lot in the game.
But I was going to say the snapping as well. That is another thing that has been a problem. We saw a lot of it, low snaps, high snaps, and then you want to talk about long snapping, that's just a whole different conversation as well.
Yeah,
so.
and I mean, there are, like, you haven't watched a lot of my football team, but like we run almost entirely out of the shotgun. Most of the teams that we play against run almost entirely out of the shotgun. That's kind of the modern way of football.
Because it gives you the time, right?
Well, it does, right? What it does is it creates space in your backfield. So if your offensive line gets beat, you might still be able to scratch out a play.
Sure.
Your quarterback also is facing downfield the entire play, so that's a positive too. At no point in time does he have to turn his back and then reset his eyes. So those are a couple of reasons why people love it. But now you're relying on the snapping being consistent, and it's not as easy as it sometimes looks.
Let's see if it'll be easy for Vernon to get into the end zone. And it was! O'Dwyer put 6 on the board as Vernon scratches the scoreboard for the first time today, make it 11-6 with the extra point still to come.
Can't wait for the replay to come up here because bread and butter play. Receiver motions from right to left, backside guard pulls. This time O'Dwyer, interestingly enough, he just sees the first seam that he sees and doesn't actually follow the design blocking. He just hits it right up the A-gap where he sees a seam and bullies his way into the end zone. One-man show here from O'Dwyer, and
Warner.
I'm feeling that momentum shifting.
Ooh,
That's a big score for Vernon.
All right, so as mentioned earlier, 2 points here if they can put this through the upright, and that'll make it 11-8 if they can do so, and it'll be Owen West to nope, and it ends up throwing the football, and oh my, it's picked off right there. So no extra points there for Vernon, but they get on the scoreboard. It is now 11-6 for Coquitlam.
I think that was a planned fake. It looked like the holder / quarterback, I guess you could say there, Oliver Harkness. It looked like he had no intention of ever trying to pin that ball. He looked like he caught it right and got up right away. So I think that was probably intentional. But another nice play in the end zone there by Wisdom Flomo, who has a couple pass breakups early in this game. So maybe it's more like no fly mo.
There you go. Like that. Wisdom Flomo definitely part of the all-name team from this weekend. Seen some great football yesterday. Some more here to come today as well. And we have this Junior Bantam 9-man championship that you're watching now. Coming up later on at 12:30, the Junior Bantam 12-man. And then at 3 o'clock, we got the Midget 9-man. So a full day of football here at McLeod Athletic Park and McLeod Stadium as Vernon looks to kick things off here.
Well, a nice participation from all over the province here today, right? You've got teams from Delta, Surrey, Saanich, Comox, Vernon, Coquitlam. A nice little cross-section across the province here. In fact, the only real notable omission is where we're located right now. No Langley teams featured today, but
we saw Nanaimo yesterday as well, as there is a little squib kick here. Oh, and it's touched. That's going to be Vernon football. Oh, my. What a mistake from Coquitlam. And that was Aaron McRae, who just touched the football. Let's see if we can get a look at the replay here. There it is. Just a little touch, and then it's jumped on by Oliver Harkness.
And the field conditions, again, as I alluded to earlier, are kind of setting this up. It just adds that added element of chaos. And again, the ball just kind of skips there, and the returner, the guy on the return team at least, trying to get down to it, it skips and skitters right between his legs as he's going down to try and trap it. And then there's a Vernon guy waiting for it. I think that was Oliver Harkness, 12, who picked it up in the end here.
Yep.
And, hey, that momentum shift continuing on here. You can see the body language on the sidelines.
So Warner now in shotgun, and he's got O'Dwyer. And instead they go with a bit of an end around, and it's picked up there by Vandenberg. And Vandenberg gets himself a first down, although he might be hurt on the play.
I think he might have fallen on top of the ball there.
Let's take a look at this.
That's that counter play that they've run a few times there, and that's a really good counter based on how hard they've been leaning on O'Dwyer the last drive or two. Is, you know, they run O'Dwyer in one direction and then counter it back in the other direction with Vandenberg and a nice little pickup there. One thing I would note too, number 68, Nathan Godfellow, appears to be like their guy on the offensive line that they want to pull into space. Moves really well upfield and operates well in space. So a lot of their key running plays. Watch for number 68. He appears to be the guy that they really want to lead the way.
Yeah, the former offensive lineman is going to pick out a standout offensive lineman, of course. But, yeah, you know, they might be unheralded, but they do a lot of the dirty work, right?
Very much do, and especially at this age, like it's tough to convince kids that hey, playing offensive line is fun and playing offensive line is what every football team needs, right? So eventually kids learn to embrace that at different ages, but it's always nice to point out when they're doing an excellent job. So they're going to ask Vandenberg to leave the field here, and I believe that's because he was down injured.
And you were right. It looked like he just got winded, sort of fell directly on top of the football there, and expect Vandenberg to be okay. Warner now in the shotgun, just getting some direction from his center. And he's got O'Dwyer in the backfield. 2 receivers to his left, and he hands it off to big number 20. 20 goes up the middle and runs into a couple of white defenders there. That's 42 McNamara in on the tackle.
So did that motion, they've shown a lot, motioning to one receiver over to twin up the receivers on the same side. That time it was just a straight dive, no pull, anything like that. Just go get what you can get, big boy. And he got about 2.
So big possession here. 2nd and 9, 4:35 to go as the clock ticks away here in the first half. Vernon going to want to get some more points on the board. Looking pass. He's got a receiver wide open. That's going to be a first down, but he goes out of bounds there. Great catch from Owen West as Brock Warner finds his receiver.
And Vernon's offensive coordinator really starting to open up the playbook now, and they're taking advantage of O'Dwyer being effective on the ground. You watch this here. They set up the initial play action to O'Dwyer, draws all the defenders in, and it creates a wide open receiver to catch that ball. And if Owen West was able to spot the sideline a little quicker than he did, he might have been able to score on that play. He had a lot of room and just ran out of room before stepping on the red line.
Fresh set of downs now for Vernon. They're stuck 5 in this game. It's 11-6, 4:09 to go in the first half. Warner now hands it off to O'Dwyer and takes it to the left and able to get some positive yards. There's McNamara in on the tackle once again.
There's that pulling the guard behind number 68 there, going to the edge. And this time, Godfellow misses his guy out there on the edge, but continues to be that bread and butter play for Vernon on offense to get that one lead blocker in space with O'Dwyer in behind him.
2nd down now as Brock Warner. See a good shot of him, number 47. He's got O'Dwyer behind him, receivers to the right and left, and hands it off.
Chase.
Beautiful little run here. This is West, and West is still going, ends up getting tackled by Cuesta Leon, and they're going to move the sticks on that one. Another first down for Vernon.
And what's doubly impressive about that, remember, West is only in the game of that position. That's usually what Vandenberg runs. So you can see Vandenberg coming back on the field now. They're going to keep West on the field and take number 88, Tanner Carr, off this time because West has been running real well. But that's the play that we've seen a few times with 82 running it. 28 hops in and is able to do the job there.
So here we are, 1st and goal now. Warner trying to get his team into the end zone, trying to get their first lead of the game. And he's got O'Dwyer in the backfield, and hands it off to him once again. He tries to get to the right side and then cuts into the middle. Might have just tripped up there. I think he might have found some end zone if he didn't trip over his own feet.
Yeah, I think the turf monster got him there. A little bit disjointed. They motion the receiver. They pull the guard away from the 2 receivers this time, and O'Dwyer gets the ball and immediately cuts back towards the receivers and away from his blocker there, and is just able to outrun the defensive guy. But yeah, you're right. It looked like he just turf monstered himself and stumbled down to about the 2-yard line.
So let's see if Vernon can punch it in now on 2nd down. 2nd and goal. And as usual, O'Dwyer in the backfield there. They got a man in motion. Warner now hands it off and right up the middle, and it's O'Dwyer. It's going to be a touchdown. Vernon put another 6 on the board as Caden O'Dwyer with his 2nd major of the game, and Vernon takes the lead.
Yeah, O'Dwyer, he doesn't follow his lead blocker all the way to the edge there, but it's because he knows the situation here. He can see the end zone right in front of him, and he just goes, you know what? I see enough of a crease that I can get into the end zone. And while as a coach, you want to go, hey, follow your blockers, son. At the same time, if your kid goes, I know I need to get to that blue paint and make sure he gets to the blue paint, then at that point in time, you're like, good on you.
So a big 2-point here if they can kick it through, and they do.
No, wide left.
Wide left? No. So that was O'Dwyer on the kick. So, no.
They signaled wide left.
They single wide left?
Yeah.
It's hard to see from our perch up here.
Yeah, they have changed the scoreboard to reflect a 2-point convert, but the referee did signal no good wide left. So I believe it's still 12-11.
We'll have to get some confirmation on that.
Who's doing scoreboard?
So there was a no good signal as the officials up here in the booth give us the confirmation. So it's 12-11 now.
Yeah, it looked good from here, but he signaled wide left.
As we check with the officials here.
The sideline has given it to the scoreboard operator up here because he thought that was good as we did initially too. But
So that's another 6, not 8 on the board for Vernon. So that's going to make it 12-11. Both touchdowns.
So do you kick it short here again?
Yeah, absolutely. See if put some more pressure. And they did. They go right back at him. And this time he's able to scoop it up was Aaron McRae, who had it touch him last time and able to turn the ball over for Vernon. But this time Coquitlam able to squeeze it. So we got a 12-11 game going on here now. And that 2-point conversion, Gord, was big because we've seen Coquitlam kick field goals already.
Yep.
Cuesta Leon has got a field goal, so they do have it in their arsenal.
Yeah, and what you saw on that kickoff, by the way, is one of the safety rules that is in play at this level. When you kick short, if there's a clear recovery by the return team, they just quick whistle and blow it dead at that point in time, so that the kickoff team doesn't tee off on him coming downfield. So if you were wondering why that play was blown dead, that's exactly why it was. But you're right, yeah, a 1-point game here. There's 2:11 left before the half at this point in time. That's more than enough time for Coquitlam to march this ball down the field and at least get a field goal to take the lead if that's what they want to do.
So Cuesta Leon now calls up his own number and just going nowhere. O'Dwyer is there and a whole gang of Vernon Blue there to get on the gang tackle. PCL going nowhere.
Yeah, you can see that these Vernon guys are really starting to feel the momentum now. They are really swarming on the defensive side of the ball, where Cuesta Leon was able to kind of create some things earlier on here. The Vernon guys are all over it, and one of the keys for them is they're getting multiple hats on the ball, right? Multiple players are in on all of these tackles, and that's why they've been so effective the last couple drives here is they are all rallying to the ball so that one guy doesn't need to tackle what might be the best player on the field, certainly on the offensive side.
2:02 to go here in the first half, and you can see the shot of the Vernon coach having a chat, and there's Coquitlam as well, just rallying the troops, as they say. Stuck one right now, are Coquitlam, 12-11, and what is turning into be a pretty good game here in the Junior Bantam Division 9-man Provincial Championship. We saw Coquitlam go up early in this one, 11-0, but 12 unanswered from Vernon.
Yeah, and full credit to Vernon. Like they weathered the early storm here, and one of the elements to this day is that these two teams, they play in completely separate conferences, so they have no prior experience with each other. So that feeling out period early on can be a little bit more than it would be, say, in the VMFL championship a couple weeks ago when it's Coquitlam versus whoever it was, North Surrey, Langley, whoever, who they've played multiple times this season and they know pretty well.
So Cuesta Leon now in shotgun. He's got Simon to his right, receivers to his left and right. And this time he decides to flick it over to Simon, who does a bit of dancing, but then runs right into O'Dwyer. So O'Dwyer doing it all on offense for Vernon and really showing his mettle on defense as well.
And it appears to be that Vernon's defenders have figured out, hey, 14 is the guy that he wants to get the ball to here. And if he's putting it deep downfield, then 22 is that guy. But, Wishart, number 4, has held up in coverage against him pretty well. So leave your corner in coverage against 22 and follow 14 wherever he goes, and you're probably going to be pretty successful. And that appears to be what they've kind of honed in on here.
So third down now. They are.
So this is a tough decision for Coquitlam, and they are smartly, I should say, letting the clock run down here. But I think you kind of have to punt, but that didn't go so hot the last time you did it. So
3rd and 13 or so here.
This looks like their punt formation for sure.
Yep. They might want to get Simon to maybe get out of the way this time. Yep. Cuesta Leon with a good kick this time. and ends up getting fielded right around the 24-yard line. That's Harkness, and Harkness now to the outside. Good play. We got some laundry on the field, though. What did you see here, Gord?
Probably going to get caught for an illegal block right at the point of attack as Vernon didn't seem fully prepared for Coquitlam to actually punt that, and so they were kind of scramble drilling it once the ball hit the ground. And Harkness actually did a good job to secure the ball and get back upfield quickly, but his guy chasing the play down, there was just a car wreck right at the point of attack. Just before the replay was picked up here was where the flag was. So this is going to be, I would assume, a blocking infraction, and going back, though, despite the very clear flag, the referees have kept the ball at the end of the play at this point.
Harkness with a good stiff arm there on James Bennett.
Oh, so they're actually calling it on Coquitlam here.
Interesting. Number 64, that's Quinn Mahoney, who is injured at the moment. You can see him just on the far sideline there being attended to by the training staff.
So the signal there was, it looked like a holding signal that was made, and I don't really understand where that flag was thrown and when it was thrown. It could be a hold on Coquitlam. I don't get that. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is. So nonetheless, penalty is on Coquitlam, and Vernon takes the ball just short of midfield here, and all of a sudden, with a minute 10 on the clock, Vernon's got a chance to add on to this lead here. Challenge for Vernon is that we have seen them complete just one pass in this first half so far. They have relied on the running game. That 110 is a ton of time, but not as much if you're running every play. So something to be mindful of here in Vernon is that they kind of need to get some chunks early on this drive if they're realistically going to add on before the half here.
If they're going to go to the air, they're going to have to be careful as well, as we see Brock Warner now in shotgun, and he does that same play. They love that play, and this one is going to be big yardage. They absolutely saw something, taking it to the house. Josh Vandenberg put another 6 on the board for Vernon.
Good for them. Again, they're taking advantage of Coquitlam being kind of keyed up on number 20. And this is, I was talking about it when Coquitlam had the ball, that Vernon was kind of keying on one guy. Coquitlam needs to have some answers prepared for if they stop that. And one thing I would point out at the end of that play there, if you're 22 at the end of that play there, you got to lay out and try and make that tackle.
I was going to say, there was no dive there.
Yeah.
Kind of
I feel like Don Cherry a little bit right now, but for all you kids watching at home, when you are the last guy back, if you are within a body length of the guy who's about to score, you at least give a courtesy dive and try and take out the ankles. Even if you don't think you can get him, you'd be surprised.
Tanner Carr now for the extra 2, and that one is good. Our eyes did tell us this time that this one is good, so put an extra 2 on the board there, and it's now 20.
That looked like me off the first tee box.
Yeah. I've seen it, folks. 2011 now for Vernon, as under a minute to go here in the first half, and a pretty impressive sort of rebound in this game for the Magnum Blue.
Huge momentum shift, and now all of a sudden that storyline goes back to Coquitlam. And I noted it a couple possessions ago after the onside kick was recovered, but you can see the body language on the two sidelines, and you can, people talk about whether momentum is a real thing or not. I'll tell you, especially when you've got young players out there on the field, it absolutely feels like a real thing. And you can see it on both sidelines right now. The energy level on the Coquitlam sideline is low. The energy level on the Vernon sideline is high. I think you saw it at the end of that last play where the last guy back went, here we go again.
Yeah.
And because it feels like they're getting swamped right now, and they're not truly getting swamped. They're still right in this game. It just feels much worse than it actually is.
58 seconds to go here in the first half, and that's 20 unanswered now for Vernon, as Coquitlam jumped out to a 11-point lead early in this, and they just haven't been able to put any more on the board. We saw a turnover, of course, on an essentially onside kick. See what Vernon does here as well. They kind of did the squib again, and this time it's right into the hands of number 18. That's James Bennett.
That time that play was blown dead because his knee was on the ground when he caught the ball.
Yeah.
So again, pretty decent field position for Coquitlam here. If I'm them, I'm keeping something on the ground to start this drive. I'm going to see how successful that's going to be, and then I'm going to call the rest of my drive based on that. If I keep it on the ground and I get stopped pretty quickly, then I'm probably just in bleed the clock mode, and let's try and get out of here before the half.
Gotcha.
If I get a chunk here, now I'm going pedal to the floor.
So we'll see what they dial up, and we know that Cuesta Leon's got a big cannon. See if maybe he looks
that's
deep
the
ball.
other option. To be honest, I think that's probably more likely than the approach that I would take. I think it's more likely that they just go to the air here and try and get one downfield.
Well, let's see it. PCL now looking pass, and yeah, he is looking deep. That's McNamara, and he goes, oh my, just towards the ball, almost makes the catch there. Alec McNamara, the intended receiver, and might be a little shaken up on the play as well, maybe a little hit pointer.
He couldn't quite reel it in, but that was a really impressive adjustment by the receiver there as the ball. And this isn't bad placement of this ball. That's how you want to throw a fade ball. I tell my quarterbacks this all the time. If you're going to miss with this ball, I want you to miss
Outside shoulder there.
and away.
Yeah.
If you're going to miss inside, now we're in the danger zone. But if you're going to miss out and away, what you just saw is worst case scenario. It falls incomplete.
Yeah, there's no interception that was going to happen there. If anything, he was just going to drop the ball. Absolutely.
But that being said, that was a really good adjustment by 42 in the air, and he almost was able to come back and make the catch on that.
Yeah, and it looks like he's still a little shaken up there. I wonder if he fell awkwardly on his side, but he's not feeling good. So
yeah, he laid out completely trying to come down with that, and I think he came down on it looks like he's holding his hip or something like that. So.
Well, that turf doesn't feel that good, does it?
No, not great. And this is a good quality turf surface, but it's also starting to get a little bit aged. It sees a lot of football, right?
Yeah.
It sees the junior Langley Rams play here. BCFC's Langley Rams, I should say. It sees the high school football Langley Secondary School play here. It sees community championships and academies on it. There's soccer on it. That's one of the things with turf facilities is that they're expensive and they're few and far between enough that, I mean, if you've paid attention during the pan shots, you can see like there's track equipment around the outside.
Yeah.
there are soccer nets around the outside.
Oh, this is a full athletic park here, as mentioned earlier. I mean, there's a turf baseball field right behind us as well.
Yeah,
so,
so it gets used and used and used and used and used. And this surface now is probably 7, 8 years old, something like that. And so what happens is that the longer grass blades start to wear down over time, and you can kind of see it in looking at the field. You can see a lot of the black poking through.
Sure.
That's a surface that's starting to become a lot harder and more reminiscent of the old school AstroTurf that you and I grew up playing on.
Jeez. Exhibition Stadium back in the day. Whoa, that looked tough, and there's a tough pass there from PCL as Patricio Cuesta Leon trying to find his receiver. That's Wisdom Flomo, and yeah, they are disconnected right now, it seems like, on Coquitlam's side of the offensive ball.
It just they're just trying to get it out quickly to the flanks there, and Cuesta Leon just I don't know if it just didn't come out of his hand right or if somebody got a fingertip on that. I didn't quite see it, but either way, it comes up short of his receiver. And now, 54 seconds on the clock and 3rd and 10. Coquitlam's kind of got themselves in a little bit of a pickle here again.
And tough to see exactly what this is going to be. It looks like it's going to be a punt.
So this is their punt formation, but Vernon, okay, now they're reacting to it. So they figured out that this is the punt formation here. Bad snap. And
instead they try to go, and Cuesta Leon, is he going to keep going? Oh, my, no, he cannot. Good tackle there. As he was tied up by O'Dwyer. In pursuit as well was Wishart. But what a play there for the Vernon defense as they aren't tricked by it. And Cuesta Leon ends up going down, and it's a turnover on downs. And, yeah, they give him 46 seconds here.
Absolutely critical for Coquitlam to get a stop here and try and stop the bleeding. And what you see from Cuesta Leon there is that's something that young football players will often do is that, you know what your job is supposed to be, but then chaos happens, right? The snap comes out low, you're fumbling to pick it up, and then it's just the switch flicks, and you just go instinctually, and you just try and do what you can. And that's exactly what Cuesta Leon does there. Challenge is that his instincts told him to try and hero ball it.
Now, to start off that series there, we questioned whether they were going to go to the air, what they were going to do.
Yep.
On the first down, though, do you like that decision, or do you think that perhaps they should have went with the run to be able to at least work the clock to their side?
It's hard for me to say in all fairness, right? Like I said off the top of that drive what my mentality would have been in managing this situation, but I don't have the personnel and the kids that these guys do, right? And so if you're a coach, if that's what you're feeling better about, if you are feeling better about your quarterback who's got a good arm, putting it downfield and seeing if you can get your chunk through the air rather than the ground, then that approach is fine. The challenge is, I think, that you need to be prepared for what your 2nd and 10 play looks like if that doesn't work out. And I don't know that was really prepared there.
Yeah.
It looked like, oh no, like the bomb didn't work. Now what are we going to do?
Sure. And as we saw, it didn't work out in second down as well. So here we are, new set of downs and turnover on downs. That is for
Counterplay again. You got room
Vernon.
again.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. As they give it off to Carr, and Carr takes it off to the right side, and he's going to be short of a first down, but maybe about a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
And of course, the clock does stop to place the ball here in Canadian rules. It looked like he was about to signal first down, but he has now reconsidered.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be 2nd and 1.5 roughly.
Yeah.
But now the clock is running out. The ball's been placed, so they got to get going.
Oh, good little
Same
play
to the other
there,
side.
but they go to the other way. And can Vandenberg get the edge? He can. It's the same guy he's got to beat. Can he do it? He does it once again. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. Oh, my. So that little push there by Flomo. And he
Give him credit.
Yep,
He
yep.
learned from his mistakes. That was almost a carbon copy of what we saw in the last Vernon possession, but this time Flomo makes the extra effort, and he gets his guy just to step out of bounds to save 6 points.
So you see here on the replay, as he gets the edge, he gets past PCL. Good dive there. Questleon can't get him, and then
Just
Flomo.
that little
yep.
extra effort.
Yep.
And he steps out of bounds at about the 7, which is where they've marked him.
Wow, this is
8-yard line they've marked him. Actually.
This is key here now for Vernon.
Well, Coquitlam has no answer for this counterplay all of a sudden.
And they go left to right. Like, yeah, they just don't know exactly where it's going. They run it one way, then they go next the other way, and it's confusing Coquitlam's defense big time.
Yeah, the challenge is what you coach up your defenders to look at, right? So, again, having not had a lot of familiarity with this offense, that counterplay can be really tough to stop because the runner of the ball is coming from the backside of the formation, which means that if you're watching the kid lined up in front of you, tracking him across the entire formation is really, really difficult. You now have to look across the formation to see what's coming from the other side. That's a really difficult read for a defender. And so for Coquitlam, what they need to figure out is how they're going to coach their defenders to read that counter action. And what's going to be key for them, they need to get their defensive ends to step up and seal the edge a little bit more aggressively. I'm not saying that they aren't holding their contain and holding the edge, but they need to get upfield so that it forces this counter. Remember the one time they ran it early on and the guy had to bubble deep into the backfield, lost a bunch of yards? That's what you need if you're going to disrupt that counter thing, because right now Vernon feels they can run it at will.
Well, it doesn't help when Vandenberg and Carr are both doing it, and then you've got O'Dwyer to worry about as well, who gets that pass right there. But right there is the defender. Good play. I believe that was Flomo on the tackle. Get exactly the number, but yeah, there's weapons on Vernon. You gotta be able to target them, but at the same time too, there's about 3 of them. As we see the pass here, O'Dwyer picks it up, and yeah, it's Flomo who able to get real quick on the tackle. So a good play there from Coquitlam.
19 seconds and running here.
And they do the counter again, and it's going to be Vandenberg. He's got those 2 guys to beat. PCL this time with a huge tackle. What a play there by Cuesta Leon.
And they are going to signal the half. Interesting. They're still. Now, here's what's worth pointing out. The official time is kept by the officials on the field. So while there was still about 7 seconds left on the scoreboard clock in the stadium, that is not the official time.
Look at that tackle there by Cuesta Leon. He
that's
is
a 6-point play
baller.
now. That's
Absolutely.
a 6-point play. And if Vernon scores there, like that is back-breaking for Coquitlam, but their best player steps up and make sure to stop the bleeding like we talked about, and now there's still some life.
So 2011 here at the half as Vernon has put up 20 unanswered after Coquitlam started off 11-0 in this game. We'll be back with second half action right here from McLeod Stadium as it's the Junior Bantam 9-man Provincial Championship on Sports Canada TV.
Doing an amazing job.
Welcome back into McLeod Stadium here for the BC Junior Bantam 9-man Provincial Championship. 2011, Vernon on top of Coquitlam here as we get the second half going. And
funnily enough, 2011 also the year that some of these kids were born.
There you go.
So you're already seeing one of the adjustments for Coquitlam on offense as they come out under center for the first time today. And unfortunately, their right guard got a little bit eager there.
So we saw in the first half, Coquitlam go up 11-0, and we've seen 20 unanswered points now from Vernon, and a lot of that off the back of number 20, Caden O'Dwyer, who's got himself 2 touchdowns in the game. Josh Vandenberg, the other scorer for Vernon. Both tallies, or at least the one major and the one field goal from Patricio Cuesta Leon, who has been doing it all on offense and on defense for Coquitlam.
So it looks at the approach here from Coquitlam. They're going to try and saddle up Simon and get some vertical run game going. But on the first play there, it looked like it was 52 Quinn Godkins knifing into the backfield and making the tackle right away. It was up high. A couple people on the Coquitlam sideline signaling for maybe a possible horse collar there, but no call. So it's 2nd and long now.
Cuesta Leon now with a man in motion. That's McNamara. He's got Flomo out to his far left and Simon to his left. He's looking pass. He goes to his left and picks up right there. It's James Bennett with the reception. That's going to give him a few extra yards. Going to come down to 3rd down now, though, and again.
That's a passing concept that they've run successfully a few times here today, and I like it. It's not a passing concept that is going to be a big hitter for you, but they bring the 2 receivers to the same size as the tight end. The 2 receivers run vertical routes. The tight end leaks out underneath them, and it's been a tough one for Vernon to sift and cover everything on. They've hit the tight end a couple times on that, James Bennett. And a nice little chunk play now. You've got a manageable 3rd down in a situation where you probably can't afford to punt.
So Cuesta Leon now here on 3rd and 9, and he hands it off to Simon. Simon's going to need some yardage, but oh my! Who is that Mack truck that just hit him? That's number 20, Caden O'Dwyer.
Of course it is.
Who else?
Yeah, and you got just a straight handoff here, kind of off tackle for Simon, and they do not get a body on O'Dwyer, the middle linebacker.
Wow, O'Dwyer.
When you're going to be successful in running the ball beyond a couple yards beyond the line of scrimmage, you have to identify the middle linebacker and make sure that you've got some blocker who's going to get a body on him, because that's not a guy that if you leave him unblocked, you can probably just run around most of the time.
Big hit there from O'Dwyer, so turnover on downs and decent field position for Vernon to start as Brock Warner under center. Number 47 hands it off to O'Dwyer, and O'Dwyer goes to the right side. He's got Flomo to beat there, and he ends up getting tackled down. Good play there from number 22. Perhaps a 1st down, might be a little bit short. We'll have to take a look.
Do have a flag on the play here back in the middle of the box, but that looked reminiscent of something you saw in the first quarter a couple times where the flow on the play is going left, and O'Dwyer gets the cut back against the grain to the right.
And this one is coming back.
That pushes back 7 means 1st down.
As looks like they're going back 10 yards, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be some sort of blocking foul holding there. There you go.
So holding against Vernon. That'll set them back to 1st and 20 now.
That's a big penalty. They were close to a 1st down already on the first play, and Coquitlam gets a little bit of a break there.
So let's see if Coquitlam can do something with this as Warner on the high snap there, hands it off to Dwyer. Dwyer breaks 1 tackle and bowls his way through a couple of other defenders to pick up a couple of yards.
Yeah, it's going to be the O'Dwyer show in most situations here, but now they are so far behind the sticks, it's going to be 2nd and about 18 here. It'll be interesting to see. It wouldn't shock me if they hand the ball off again, but this is a situation where you need to consider potentially going to the air and trying to get a bigger chunk play. Actually, you know what I would expect to see here, either on 2nd or 3rd down, is I would expect to see that counter play. I would expect to see it right here, actually.
Well, it has been their bread and butter all game long. Let's see if they go back to it. Warner now. Shotgun. And there it is right there as it goes to Vandenberg. And Vandenberg's able to cut up, but that's not going to be enough. However, where they are in the field, though, Gore, do you think that perhaps they just go for it here?
I probably keep my offense on the field here the way things have been going, yeah. So the difference that you see on that particular one, I don't know if we're going to get a replay here, but Coquitlam defender on that far side didn't catch what number it was, but he actually set the edge on properly so that Vandenberg couldn't bounce out to the sidelines where he really wants to hit it. He forced him back into the middle of the formation. The thing is, even though he's now moving straight upfield, that's also where all of your help is coming from as a defender. Right?
They're starting to maybe pick up on the play. Here's Warner, though, and he passes it this time out to number 12 there. That is Oliver Harkness, and Harkness takes it up into a first down, but there is some laundry.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're the same foul or not. They came from 2 different officials in 2 different places, so I don't know if it's the same infraction or if this is 2 different penalties. We'll have to wait and see here.
Flomo claiming perhaps a face mask on him.
I think a horse collar at the end potentially there. We saw another high tackle at the end of that play as well. So, yeah, it looks like I just saw a gesture from the head official, Farrell tap on there. I think they're debating whether there was enough there for a face mask. Remember, an offensive player can engage the face mask so long as there is no grasping or tugging at that face mask. He can contact it. And so I think that's part of what they were discussing here is whether this met that threshold. They are marching this back. Yeah, so they are going to call the face mask here.
So that was on Harkness as Harkness put his hands up into the face of number 22, Wisdom Flomo.
So they're getting face masks going both ways. They're going to cancel each other out here. So that was on the tackle at the end of the play. That was the other infraction. So they're calling face masks going both ways here.
You see it there.
Ooh, I don't agree with that call.
And then you see it there as well. So the second one was on Aaron McCray.
Now, it's good to err on the side of caution whenever you get contact up around the face. So I don't have a huge problem with it, but I don't think that was enough for an offensive face mask, in my opinion.
3rd and 12 now, and Warner now looks to the air. Oh, and it gets knocked down, and it's going to get scooped up there by Coquitlam, but it would have been a turnover on downs anywhere. James Bennett was able to pick it up.
Indifferent. They called it an incomplete pass. Doesn't really make a lot of difference in this situation, so it's all good, and Coquitlam gets the stop. They had converted it, but that face mask penalty cost them.
So this is big here for Coquitlam. Got to get themselves back in this game. After starting things off, putting the first 11 points on the board, they have seen their lead shrink now and evaporate at this point as Vernon has put 20 unanswered on the board, and it's 20-11, 7:30 to go here. 3rd Q of the Junior Bantam 9-man provincial championship between Coquitlam and Vernon.
So they're back under center here. We've yet to see them try to pass out of this. It's difficult to pass under center, so let's see what they do here.
And they hand it back off to Simon, who is their lead runner, and he gets about 5 maybe yards on the run there, and they'll set things up for second in about 5 or 6.
Weather conditions have really cooperated for us here. It has stopped raining altogether at this point, and this is about as good as you could hope for on December 11th. Though I will say, Weather Network was telling me we should see some sun at some point today. I am seeing no indications of that at this point.
Yeah, looking pretty overcast here in Langley.
Stark contrast from a week ago today, that's for sure.
That's true. That is for sure. As out of shotgun, they fake the handoff to Simon. Then they go deep to McNamara, and he is right there. What a catch! He's going to take it. The 10-5 touchdown, Coquitlam.
Put up a jump ball to your guy there. McNamara's got some great height, and the defensive back just misses the knockdown. And it looked like that was number 18, Dayton Orr, in the coverage there. And this is one of the challenges when you put up a 50-50 ball is that, both players just have to make a play on the ball. And in this case, the defensive back isn't quite able to get his hand on it. The receiver is, and it is a house call from that point forward. Big play for Coquitlam, big momentum shift here. And you can see Orr was right there, and he just missed the swat. fell down on the attempt, and it is a walk-in from that point.
And the extra 2 is up, and it's good. So we are going to have a 1-point game once again, as Coquitlam now just sort of chipping away here, trying to get back into this ball game as they put 8 more on the board. As you'll see the replay here from Cuesta Leon as he kicks it up and through. And we got a ball game here, Gord.
Yeah, and I do like the answer that the Coquitlam coaching staff has come out with here in the second half, and that they decided they weren't happy with how they were running the ball in the first half. They were entirely shotgun in the first half. And I wondered why they went under center. They didn't have snapping issues, but I think it was just purely we wanted to get the vertical running game going a little bit more. And it hasn't necessarily been like they haven't been making huge gains necessarily, but it's been good enough, right? You've been getting a couple 5-6 yard chunks, then you can put it over the top. If I'm Vernon, though, when you're under center, I'm cheating on the run. When you're in the shotgun, I am cheating on the pass, and I'm making Coquitlam show me that they can do something different out of those, because so far, that's been the tell.
All right, let's see if Coquitlam, the Chargers, let's see if they can charge their way on defense to get this ball back, because they are down 1 right now. Still plenty of time to go here in the game, though. 6:29 left in the second half, and that one bounces up and over and out of bounds over Orr's head.
You can see why, especially when you don't necessarily have a kicker who can kick it 50 yards downfield, you can see why these short kicks are so tempting and appealing in a lot of situations, right? That ball skip, and all of a sudden catches a point and bounces 6 feet up in the air, and everybody on Vernon had missed that. If it didn't skitter out of bounds, Coquitlam had a good shot at that ball. Penalty will be for the kick out of bounds there. So your option on offense is to either back up the kickoff team and have them re-kick, or just take the ball where it is. And so in most situations, if it's anywhere like this, decent field position, you'll just take it.
So that's where Vernon will start from their own 43-yard line. Warner now with O'Dwyer in the background. He hands it off, and that's going to be good for about 4 to 5 yards.
Just saddle up your horse here if you're Vernon. Get a good chunk on first down, and that's kind of been the formula, right? O'Dwyer, counter. Big play.
O'Dwyer rules? Is that what you're saying? Billy Madison fans out there? Yeah. All right, let's see now. Brock Warner. He's got O'Dwyer again. 2 receivers to his left, and, just hands it off to O'Dwyer. And O'Dwyer's got to have some space here. But a good tackle from McNamara. It's not going to be enough, though, to keep them. That's going to be a first down.
Yeah, McNamara does a good job of shedding his block there, getting off it. He did have a man out there blocking him. It looked like there was nobody in front of O'Dwyer, but McNamara, like I said, good job to shed off the block and make the play. Still a first down, but could have been a lot bigger.
Oh, yes.
You could see O'Dwyer's lead blocker, 68 there again, Nathan Godfellow. He was still jogging downfield looking for somebody to block. It was looking good.
So let's see what Vernon dials up here now with a fresh set of downs from the 55-yard line. And it's O'Dwyer once again. Feed the beast as he goes up the middle, but only 2 or 3 here.
Yeah, O'Dwyer doing what he does on that pulling the backside guard type of kind of like a power G play that they run. He just kind of picks whatever hole he likes and hits it. He doesn't necessarily always follow the pulling guard to the edge. He'll sometimes hit it up the middle. He'll sometimes even hit it backside. That time he liked to seam right up the middle. Takes it for, let's say, a long 2.
Good shot of Brock Warner there with O'Dwyer. He's got those 2 receivers to his left. That's a high snap once again. Instead of going left, they go right, and O'Dwyer just runs into a wall of white defenders there, going nowhere, and that's going to bring up 3rd down.
See, this is where you kind of play with fire when you're just running to wherever. If we are able to see the blocking scheme here again, you'll see that this is that play they've run a lot today. They pull the backside guard towards the 2 receivers. It's designed to go to the left. O'Dwyer sees white shirts who are unblocked on the backside, and he immediately tries to cut back and beat them himself. And that's not where he's got help. So he's either going to break those tackles or he's going to get stuffed, and so he gets stuffed.
There's Vandenberg now with that same play, but they're not biting on it this time. Good tackle there by McNamara. That's going to get them a stop, and Coquitlam now getting a little juice. See, then they're fired up a little bit now.
McNamara all over that.
All right, here's the replay as we see Vandenberg take the handoff. And
It was well blocked right at the point of attack, but McNamara at the second level read it well, stayed at home, and approached this guy with outside-in leverage. That's just a really good defensive play. His body position was outstanding, and he forces the guy to cut inside and then finishes the tackle.
so here's Coquitlam now, taking it basically from midfield and going to try to get themselves back into the lead. They haven't led this game since early in the first half when they put the first 11 points on the board. 20 unanswered for Vernon. Let's see what Coquitlam can do after they got those 8 points to make it 20-19 here.
So under center on first down, run the ball. Vernon all over it this time. Second and long, let's see what they come out in. They come out in the shotgun. We're probably seeing some sort of passing play. And it'll be interesting to see if Vernon's defenders have noticed that or not.
We haven't really seen Tavon Simon really break things out since that early in the first half. See if we can get a big chunk play from their dynamic back.
So we got shotgun here.
And
We're going to sweep it.
interesting call here. And that looked like designed run all the way there.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting call.
It almost looked like an option look, and we did see something that looked a little bit reminiscent of that. They ran it once in the first half. So that's their way of trying to change it up, right? I was talking about tendencies and trying to predict things. They go out of the gun there, and they wanted to see if Vernon was cheating on the pass play. And whether they were or they weren't, they were able to rally up and make the play, and now we've got third and we'll call it 10. It's maybe a hair over 10, but good position to not really have to think much about kicking. Like, keep your offense on the field here.
But yeah, right away there. He was looking run right away there.
Yeah, no, that definitely looked like a design run.
All right, they're going for it here on third down, 3rd and 10. He's going to go to the air, try to go to his bread and butter, and oh my, no, it was Flomo instead of McNamara this time, and he can't make the catch. Do we have any? No, it looks like it's a clean play, so that is going to be a turnover on downs, and they're going to hand the ball back over.
To be honest with you, from my eyes there, like, had he come down with that, I actually thought that might have been offensive pass interference. He looked, see, there's a little push off right before the ball gets there, but a great play to recover by the defensive back. And I got to give credit to both these Vernon corners. They're playing the ball at the catch point really well. You know, that's a nice bounce back play there from Dayton Orr, who missed the swat on the previous possession on the touchdown. That time, but he attacks with his hands. He attacks right at the receiver's hands to get that ball out of there. They're making catches difficult wherever they can. That's really impressive defensive back play at this level.
All right, let's see what Vernon can dial up here as Warner hands it off to O'Dwyer, who goes up the middle, and he gets a few extra there, just keeps those legs going.
Yeah, base run play there. Same thing we've seen a lot today. This time, O'Dwyer does work towards the front side of the play, but he sees a seam at about the B gap, and when he sees a seam, I really like the way he puts his foot in the ground, and he gets, like, you can see him accelerate into the hole. Not afraid of contact whatsoever, and he's learned that the harder, the faster he hits that hole, the better off he's going to be.
All right, Warner now again in shotgun. He's got O'Dwyer again, and yep, that's what they do. Right to 20. That's going to be a first down and more as he drags a couple of defenders with him. O'Dwyer just continues to chunk into the Coquitlam defense.
And as long as he resists the urge to bail on this to the backside of the play, they should continue to have some good looks here. He still hasn't gone all the way to the edge on this behind his pulling guard, and so if Coquitlam starts to try and fill some of these holes in the inside, now all of a sudden he can widen this and go off tackle and get another big chunk there. The only thing he needs to avoid doing, like I said, is cutting to the backside like he did on the previous possession.
And Warner now just goes right back to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer takes his
edge.
pull blocker, and he's going to take it all the way to the house. Another touchdown for Vernon. That's his 3rd major of the day. Caden O'Dwyer puts another 6 on the board for the Magnum Blue.
I love it when a plan comes together. So what did I just finish saying?
Yep.
They flip the play, but this is the exact same play going the other way, and this time he gets to the edge.
And this time Flomo cannot push him out of bounds, and he just wins that foot race.
Not as light as his teammate, number 82, is to get him out of bounds. He's a little bit thicker in the britches, this one.
Wins that foot race over James Bennett, and now it's for 2 more as 26-19 is the lead. Let's see if they can make it 28 here. And the kick is up, and no, it's right into the oof. That wasn't pretty. But nonetheless, Vernon puts 6 more on the board. 26-19, they up their lead.
You know, it's always interesting looking to see what's coming up the pipeline for me as somebody who's coaching at one of the higher age brackets in this province, and it's no coincidence that good minor football organizations lead into and grow into good high school football programs, or in certain areas, good midget programs, right? But here, you know, Vernon Secondary School, powerhouse high school football program, right? I should note too, Clarence Fulton High and Vernon also plays. They're maybe less so a powerhouse, but talent pipeline's coming up,
sure,
and it's looking pretty good, right?
Yeah.
On the Coquitlam side, these kids are going to be feeding into Terry Fox,
yep,
powerhouse secondary
yep,
school. Centennial is on the rise these days, although they had a bit of a tough fall this past season. But you know, Centennial is on the rise. It's another Coquitlam school. You know, some of these guys end up going over to New West even, or St. Thomas More, but all big-time high school programs drawing from this talent.
Yeah, and you know, Caden O'Dwyer is going to be, the high school coaches will be salivating to get him on their team.
Ooh, absolute scramble drill on that kickoff, and Coquitlam ends up coming up with it. I think about 6 different players between the two teams had a shot at that ball.
See if we can get a look at that one again. And here it is here.
So it goes off the – 2 guys run right by it. It goes off the return guy, and then a Coquitlam guy almost falls on it, kicks it around.
Oh, my. How did Vandenberg not get it there? Wow. That was a hot potato.
Like I said, I think 6 different guys had a chance to come up with that ball between the two teams. And I think it was Simon that ended up falling on it for Coquitlam in the end. Oh, my goodness. This is fun, man. How is it that when you get to the top levels of the sport, onside kicks are so freaking boring, and then you watch this, you're like, this is the best thing in the game right now.
Absolutely. Every kick should be an onside kick at this level.
Absolute chaos.
Love it. 26-19.
Oh, they've changed their mind, and they've given the ball to Vernon here. Interesting. What happened there? Now, worth noting, like our replay, our angle, the players, there's a pile in front of where the ball was recovered, so we couldn't see clearly. So this very well may be the right call. Interesting. They changed.
Yeah, we're going to see that one again here.
Oh, no, hang on. Sorry. It's quarter time. That's what it is. They flipped the teams. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. So, sorry. Coquitlam does have the ball here. That's my mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering how they were going to find a way to get it to Vernon here, but not the case. So here we go. McNamara on the sweep. He has to go outside. Can he beat Vandenberg? No, he can't. Oh, my. And he gives him a little bit as well at the end. 82. Josh Vandenberg with a big-time tackle. And we got an injury on the play.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's not an illegal tackle, but it's one of those where he kind of grabs the shirt and they kind of spin around and he whips him to the turf, and that does not feel good.
You talked about the bubble there. That bubble, it is about to burst right there.
Yeah, that hurts.
Great
Comes
play.
down pretty hard on that left arm there, right on top of the ball too. So hopefully he's okay, and this is just the wind knocked out of him. But really nice play by Vandenberg. He's done that a couple times on that play this game. And one of the challenges for Coquitlam is that when they want to run that play, they're motioning the receiver towards it, so they're giving a little bit of an indication that that's where they might be going. And Vandenberg's picked up on that.
They've also picked up on the fact that there's a giant screen that is hovering over the field, and they're looking at themselves. That's why you see the kids waving there. They saw themselves up on the big screen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, they don't get that every week, right? They don't play in front of facilities like this every week. So.
No, and it is a gorgeous facility out here at McLeod Athletic Park.
I would just like to see the coaches turn and wave at this point.
There you go, yes. We saw a little bit of it yesterday in the Adam 9-man flag championship as well. Those kids pretty stoked to see themselves on a big screen like that. And, of course, friends and family here cheering them on. Good crowd always comes out for these championships. And, again, we're seeing a lot of supporters for the BC Lions here, too, who, of course, are a major sponsor of all of this. We can see their tents out there. So.
And, yeah, we can already see the supporters for the Saanich Wolverines in front of us here, who are going to be playing in the 12-man junior bantam game next. They got a pretty good-sized roster if you look over the warm-up field right here.
And, of course, if you're just joining us, this is the Junior Bantam 9-man championship. We'll have the Junior Bantam 12-man later on this afternoon at 12:30, 3 o'clock, the Midget 9-man. But let's get back to the action here as PCL now under center looks over the middle. Oh, he threw a pretty good dart. Flomo looks a little upset, maybe ran the wrong route, but there is some frustration right now, and it's being shown from Coquitlam.
Yeah, it definitely did not look like the receiver and the quarterback were on the same page there as Cuesta Leon threw that pretty confidently, and then the ball just ended up nowhere near anybody in a white shirt. So a little bit of a disconnect there, and Coquitlam continues to kind of spin their wheels on offense here. They had that long bomb for a touchdown that, I mean, had them back to pretty much tied here, but they haven't been able to consistently control things. They're going to have to punt here.
And it's a good punt at that from Cuesta Leon, and it's scooped up there by Harkness, who decides to go to the far left side. He's got Flomo to beat, and he does. Runs into Vandenberg, and then just ends up getting popped out of bounds.
Good little return, considering, again, he wasn't back there ready to return this kick. Vernon was slow to react to the punt formation coming out, and good job for him to, again, secure the ball cleanly, no issues, and then turn it into a bit of a decent return, too.
Vandenberg trying to help him out a little bit there, give him a little push, try to get him a couple of yards upfield. So this is big here for Vernon as they're up 7 right now. 10:50 to go here in the game. Provincial championship on the line. Warner, shotgun, hands it off to O'Dwyer. Big surprise. He goes up the middle and just maybe 2, maybe 3.
Gotta love a running back, though, that you missed a block on the nose tackle on an inside run, and he still turns it into 3 yards. A 3-yard gain. That's what you want from your running back.
So we'll see now if Vernon can continue to just pound away here. And the more they run the ball, the clock on their side, and especially with O'Dwyer, just a first down machine. But this time they go on the counter, and it's West, and West goes to the far outside. PCL, great tackle there from Cuesta Leon, but boy, left, right, they're just confusing Coquitlam all over the place here.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with this, and it's interesting. It's not a big playbook that they're rolling out here, but they run the ball. They have a good running back who runs hard. They run these plays confidently and effectively, and they mix them up well. We saw in the key with having this kind of misdirection run is you got to get into a rhythm where you're kind of keeping the defense off balance. We saw at times in the first half where the defense kind of felt like they'd figured it out, and they spun their wheels a little bit, but then they started mixing it up, and now they've kind of got Coquitlam on their heels, not knowing what to expect.
And there it is once again. Vandenberg now cuts it up inside this time as opposed to the edge. He's going to be real close to that first down, maybe about half a yard short.
Yeah, Coquitlam's defensive, I don't know if they officially call him a defensive end or not, but the edge defender on this side is having a rough one. He's getting caught, getting pinned inside on these counters pretty consistently.
See if we can get a replay of the last one. We do have an injured player on the field here. So as you see, the Vernon offense just down on one knee. And there's a shot of the Coquitlam offense. Defense, trying to figure out what they're going to do here on second and what looks like a full yard. And if you're just joining us, this is one that Coquitlam got out to an early lead. It was 11-0 for Coquitlam. Then Vernon put 20 straight on the board. We're at 26-19 now for Vernon as they try to pick up this provincial championship. And that is a player that you don't want hurt if you're Coquitlam.
I think he's going to be okay. I don't know if you saw, but he got up and he tried to jog back in the huddle, and the coach, no, sorry, dude.
All right.
You have to be off the field for a couple plays here when you go down hurt. Sorry.
That's their star quarterback, Patricio Cuesta Leon, who's also a big part of their defense as well. So that's a loss for Coquitlam on the defensive side as they send in number 32 there, and that's Quinn Chesholm. First time we said his name today.
Well, when you're backing up that guy.
Yeah, that's true.
You're probably not on the field much.
That is true. Brock Warner now in shotgun. O'Dwyer is moving, as is Vandenberg, and they go a little misdirection there, and they give it to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer, one man to beat, and he can't. Good tackle there from Flomo.
New wrinkle. I love this. So this is the counter off the counter, essentially, and what they showed in the backfield there was they made it look like they were running that counter play to the wing like they've done, but really they're coming back to O'Dwyer in the other direction. That is a great play call and a great time to pull that out.
I love when the coach beside me gets excited about plays. You're right, though. That was a beauty.
Yeah. Well, it's really smart, progressive play calling. right? You hit your primary play, which is O'Dwyer with the pulling guard, and then you hit the counter off of that, and then you have another answer. Here's that end around counter again.
And this time to Harkness. And Harkness just keeps those feet pumping. And he eventually gets taken down there. That's Bennett on the tackle.
These Vernon players can feel it now, but this one's going to come back on a hold behind the play.
That's unfortunate for Vernon. As we see the replay here, sheds the tackle. And another. And then keeps those feet just moving. Eventually thrown out of bounds there. That was Bennett and McRae in on the tackle. And yeah, you're right. This one's going back a bit.
So this has been the one challenge that Vernon has really had today. The biggest challenge for them on offense is when they've gotten into long yardage situations, when they've gotten what we call behind the sticks, as they are now. You know, when you are a run-based attack and you need to get big chunks of yardage back quickly, you're not necessarily well designed for that. So do they go to the well on their sweep play that has been their chunk play?
Yes, they do.
They go to the counter. That was the
little
counter.
different. Yeah.
That was that counter play to O'Dwyer. Didn't work as effectively this time around, but that's what they tried to go with there.
Yeah, first and 20 there. Didn't get very far. Looks like they're just going to be starting right over where they began. So
it's worth noting that's Cuesta-Leon is coming back on after his mandatory 3 plays off. So that changes some math for the Coquitlam defense, I would think.
So now,
second and Aldergrove.
Yeah, that's about it. As Warner does the same play to Vandenberg. Vandenberg now trying to get that edge, and he can, but he only gets himself maybe up to where they, well, essentially were to start. And
that's what you're looking for in that situation, though. You're not going to kick from this far out, and now you're deep enough in their ends and close enough to the sticks. You feel a heck of a lot better about 3rd and 10 than you would about 3rd and 21. So,
do you think they still run here, though?
Probably. At no point today have they been successful throwing the ball. Between just not being able to get the ball where it needs to be, or Flomo has been outstanding in the secondary. And look at the corner on the other side; it's Cuesta-Leon.
That's true. They do have athletes there, and they hand the ball off, and this time it just goes nowhere. And that's West that gets taken down by big number 56. That's Eli Niska.
That's a great play by Eli Niska up front. He knifes through the line and secures the tackle on the play here. Gotta love seeing that from your nose tackle in a huge situation for Coquitlam. So they get off the field, and hey, they've shown the ability to kick extra points pretty consistently here today. They're only down 7 right now. If they march this one down the field, going to be a really interesting decision for what to do after the touchdown, if that comes to pass. But they've got every chance of winning this game here.
And we've seen that Cuesta-Leon, he's got a boot. He can kick it. And he made both he's made both of their extra points, and then of course had the field goal as well. So yeah, he's got that in his arsenal.
This is setting up nicely to come right down to the wire here, as we got a little bit of an injury timeout here after the change in possession. But a fairly long field for Coquitlam. They've got 75, a little over 75 yards to work with here. But if they can start getting things rolling here, like we are in for a finish, my friend.
Absolutely. 6:55. Stay with us here. Junior Bantam Division 9-man provincial championship between Coquitlam and Vernon. Vernon up by 7 right now.
And this could be a key loss for Vernon. That's Vandenberg, who is down there, who's made some really impactful plays for them on defense. He's going to have to miss the next 3 plays, at least, with whatever is ailing him right now.
Now, keep your eye on 42 in white. Alec McNamara, is he not out there right now?
I don't think he's returned to the field after that hard tackle. I think I can see him on the sideline.
I was going to say, because that's their favorite target, but they're going to load up on the left side there. We've seen them go to Flomo as well, and they do. They go right to him, and he tries to shed a couple tackles, but look at that. O'Dwyer just with the big bear paw takes him down.
So they're running a quick screen to the receiver there, but they are not, their blockers there do not block the corner. So Flomo has to immediately try and shed a tackle and then get his momentum going. He sheds the tackle, but because he had to kind of stop and then start again, the chase defenders are able to come over, O'Dwyer being one of them, and bring him down.
2nd and 9.
I mean, O'Dwyer's such a tough player to plan around, right? He's big and he's physical, but he's got the movement skills that he can track down a receiver in the flat like that.
Pure athlete is number 20, as PCL now looking deep, and he is, and
Wide
it's
open.
Flomo. He's wide open. Oh my goodness, he takes it at the 40. He's coming at the 35 to 30, the 25 to 20. This is going to be a house call. 22 takes it to the end zone. Wisdom, Flomo. Oh boy, we got a game now. Coquitlam, another 6 on the board.
Enough time left that you're probably just going to do whatever you like better with the PAT here. So given what they've been doing, I don't even think they're calculating score. I think they're kicking this.
And I wondered if they were going to go back to the air. That's kind of been their bust open play. They've done it twice in this game, and it led to scores each time. But they didn't have Alec McNamara out there. This time it's Wisdom Flomo, though.
They added a nice little wrinkle there, though. They gave a little bit of a play action look to open it up, and Flomo actually bent it into the middle of the field, which we haven't seen a lot yet today.
Oh, we got a flag, but it is up and it is good. But what happened here, though? Looks like they might have to redo it. That will give Coquitlam a lead if it stands.
It will count.
It will.
Penalties on Vernon. So
And it is
will
good.
count.
There you go. So Coquitlam now takes the lead.
5:50 to go. Lots of time on the clock here.
Wow. 27-26 Coquitlam. When it looked like Vernon was in full control of this game, the Chargers charged their way back into the game. Massive play there from Wisdom Flomo on a beautiful pass from Patricio Cuesta Leon.
Well, and there's a couple of interesting added elements here. So number one, that penalty on Vernon, which I didn't see the exact nature of the penalty, but it was a rough play call, personal foul call. So now Coquitlam's going to be kicking off from Vernon's 50-yard line. Like their kid is actually setting it up backwards because he's forgotten what side they're on. Look, both teams are confused right now as to what side they're on. Because he's like, well, hang on a second. I don't usually kick it towards the uprights. But up 15 for the kick. So, Coquitlam, I might be tempted to kick this deep and give Vernon as long of a field as I can here. I know they've been going short all day today, but now that you've got this short field, I would be tempted to just have Cuesta Leon put his toe into it and kick it as far as he can and see what happens here. The other added element here, that was such a big splash play, such a huge momentum swinger. Yeah, see, that's exactly what they did. Good call.
What a turn of events here. Coquitlam looked like they were on the mat and ready to be counted out, but they get themselves back up.
I don't think this is a flag. I think all that happened is that the referee had not blown the play in yet. I mean, that's why it was mid-sentence. It wasn't ready to go yet, so they jumped the gun a little bit. But what I was going to say is that was such a big catastrophic play for Vernon. How do you get the kids to regroup after not just giving up that score, but the way they gave it up?
What is going on here? A little fake kick here.
Well, they're not waiting for they're excited and they're not waiting for the referee to blow the play in. Now the referee's finally just like, just go.
And Cuesta Leon gives him the thumbs up. Am I good to go? Let's do this for a third time, shall we? As he kicks it away. A nice kick. Uh-oh. This is going to be trouble here. Nash Steele going to have to get out. Oh, my goodness. The ball's on the turf. Oh, my. What a turn of events. Touchdown for Coquitlam. Oh, my. Nash Steele bobbles the football, ends up losing it in the end zone, and Coquitlam jumps all over it.
Oh, absolute disaster for Vernon.
Wow.
Absolute disaster. It's a really good kick from Cuesta Leon, but whoever, number 6 there, Nash Steele, he jumps up to try and play it. The ball goes through his hands, and then it's into the end zone. And again, the problem is that now you're in panic mode.
And it's McNamara that makes the play. Wow.
He's trying to scoop it up. He's panicking because he knows he's in his own end zone and going to give up points now. And just as he picks it up, McNamara gets to him, puts the ball on the turf, and now that 2 point, this is the problem. He compounds the mistake. Now that 2 points turns into potentially 8 points.
And this 2 points is massive here. Absolutely massive. And it's up, and it's good. They hit it. Cuesta Leon has been perfect all game long, so make it 35-26. And why was that big? Well, it's 2 points, right? So now it's a 9-point gap. That's a 2-score game.
Watch Tavon Simon, the holder, pull this down. This is a hell of a job by 14 to pull this ball down. Watch this.
Oh, great play there.
That's a really good play by the holder.
35-26, your score, as Coquitlam has pulled themselves off the mat and are now just counter-punching all over the field. Wow.
Coach, I believe that's the head coach, Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner, by the way.
Curtis Warner.
I know.
But yes, yeah.
The head coach Warner there, getting his guys fired up for Vernon on the sidelines. You can see him yelling and hollering, positive yelling and hollering, but gets them in for a cheer and trying to get some momentum, breathe back into his guys here. Now they got to move back up because they don't have the penalty anymore.
Exactly.
But, hey, full credit to Coquitlam. I mean, obviously they catch a break there, but they take full advantage of that 15-yarder on the extra point that nobody really would have thought much about at the time, but it completely changes the approach to the kickoff, and they managed to capitalize and turn it into an extra 8 points.
Well, and it helps, too, that Cuesta Leon's got himself quite the leg as well. He's able to boot it as well. They'll try for an onside here. That one just goes out of bounds, so you can expect Vernon to take the ball from around the 54, which is right where it went out. Boy, 9 points, though, separated. It's a 2-score game at this point.
It is. That's why that 2-pointer was so huge at the end of the touchdown there. And now you see, like, having a kicker, being blessed with a kicking game can be that edge, right? That is now, like, at the end of the touchdown. So he is perfect on 4 extra points now, so that's 8 points plus the 3 points on the field goal. That's 11 points alone that your kicker has gained you this game, and it's a 9-point game.
And Vernon has missed 3 extras on this one as well, so let's see what they can do here now. Warner goes to the air. Oh, wide open, finds his receiver. Great catch there as Owen West hauls it in. Good tackle from Alec McNamara to save another score, but a quick play, quick strike for Vernon. That's exactly what they need here as the clock ticks away, just coming up on the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Vernon with a big chunk play.
I like the call. Open up with some play action here. Okay, everybody in the building knows that you've been a run-heavy offense today. Open up with some play action and slip a guy right down the seam. That's an excellent play call and a good throw by Warner to get the ball out to his guy where he needed to.
All right, see what Vernon can do here now as Warner sort of has his hands in the air wondering what exactly are we doing here. As they spread it out, they put O'Dwyer out to the far left. They pitch it off. This time it's Harkness. And what is this? What was that all about as they throw it away? It's Flomo with the interception. And
got a couple flags with there after the interception, so this should be Coquitlam ball. It might be backed up from where the end of the play was, but this should be Coquitlam ball. So they decided to try and get creative there, and they run the halfback pass. So they toss to, they bring O'Dwyer out of the box. They toss to Harkness. And then they had Harkness put it downfield, but he way underthrew this guy.
Questionable call there. I mean, you're down 9. You still got a bit of time as we see the play here. Harkness has a defender all up in his grill. That's Bennett. And he just underthrows it. Yeah, looking for
this is one of the challenges with running that play at this level is that you need to coach your receiver that he can't get too excited and just run a straight route down the field, because the challenge is you're tossing and then asking your running back to throw the ball. It's a longer developing play. So if the receiver just runs straight down the field, like the problem with that was that the receiver was almost 40 yards downfield.
Yeah, he's not going to make that throw.
Yeah, you're not right. So you need to coach your receiver. The other thing is the receiver needs to sell run if that's what you're trying to show, right?
Yeah.
So your receiver needs to come out and look like he's going to try and block you and then take off. And the timing is such that it's not the easiest play to coach, which is why you don't see a lot of it.
And you got to see give James Bennett some credit there as well. He was all up in Harkness's grill.
Yeah, he was. And that forced it to take longer for him to get the ball out as well, which exacerbates that problem.
So here you are now with the turnover, and this is going to be tough here for Vernon to be able to get themselves back into this game. 4:25 to go. As you see the scoreboard there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll never fault a coach in the last game of the season for making sure that he unloads everything in the tool chest.
Yeah.
I don't know that that was needed in that situation. You had the better part of 5 minutes on the clock still. You're already on the 30-yard line. But that being said, like I said, if you got it in the holster, you want to make sure that you use it. So
they go to hand it off, and it's Simon who breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, 3 tackles, 4. Can't break the 5th because it's O'Dwyer who comes in and just tosses him aside.
Nice job. That's Nathan Godfellow, my favorite offensive guard for Vernon, who also knifes through and it gets the initial contact in the backfield there. Another lesson for the kids. Don't stop playing just because it looks like your teammates got the ball carrier wrapped up. There is no cap to the number of tacklers that can be in on a tackle, and number 18 for Vernon gets caught there watching as he thinks his buddy's got the tackle instead of making sure that they get the ball carrier to the turf. Almost comes back to bite them, but O'Dwyer comes and saves the day.
Cuesta Leon now just calls his own number, tries to go up the gut, and this is going to bring up 3rd down. And
this is keep the clock running, create a little bit more yardage. I would be surprised if they don't punt here because of it being a 2-score game. I would be very surprised if they keep the offense on the field here. If you're Coquitlam, yards are your friend, right? The clock is running low.
Crucial punt here because I want to make sure you get it deep enough. There's still lots of time on the clock. There's 3 minutes to go.
They're setting up the punt here. Is Vernon going to send a returner back? Okay, now he's backing up. He's
Harkness is starting to, and he does. But he's got a ways to go as Cuesta Leon can really kick it, but he gets a favorable bounce forward. Oh, no. That's not what you want right there.
It's going to be no yards because of where he engages with the ball. So Coquitlam should not get the recovery here unless I did not see where. So the only exception would be if 42 started behind the punter. So if he was behind the kicker at the kick, then he could have recovered that. But if he's not, he's still got to give that 5-yard halo.
Gotcha. Well, it looked like it went off the leg of Oliver Harkness here. And
yeah, so this will be Vernon ball because of the no yards penalty, and it's when the first contact with the ball is made, right? So when Harkness is working up to play that, the coverage guys need to be aware that it still hasn't been touched and they still need to give the 5-yard halo.
All right, well, let's see what Vernon's got because they're running out of time.
That's also a 15-yard penalty, I would point out.
Woof. So that's going to be in Vernon's favor.
Yeah, so what could have been a catastrophic issue for Vernon, it becomes kind of a bad play, a catastrophic play for Coquitlam. The penalty makes that a net of about 5 yards on the punt. Not what you were looking for with 3 minutes on the clock.
Let's see what Warner and company can dial up here, and they're going to be wanting to go to O'Dwyer. They're going to go to their favorite play. Oh, there's that counter that you talked about. And they go right up to O'Dwyer, who gets about 4, maybe 5 yards on the carry.
Yeah, didn't quite get the down block on the interior defensive lineman there that they need for that play to be successful. That's what kind of flushed O'Dwyer and prevented him from getting too much steam built up. This is where, like, if you're Vernon, you got to move now. Got to move.
2:28 to go. And, yes, 2-score game here. 9 points, they are back. Warner. And they do the same play. This time it's to Carr, and Carr now tries to cut it up. He tries to, yes, exactly. Should be trying to get out of bounds.
Now, again, clock does stop to reset the ball here. So they do have a little bit of time, but once that ball is on the ground, they need to be on the ball and ready to go here because, again, you need to score twice.
And Flomo with the tackle there. As you see O'Dwyer.
That's the first down play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see 56 there. That was the defensive lineman I was talking about. They didn't quite pin him the way they needed to run that play successfully. Okay, 1st and 10 here.
And high snap. It's handed off to O'Dwyer, who cuts it out to the right side. And good tackle there.
That should be a dead ball here.
Good tackle,
they're calling him out of bounds.
Cuesta Leon right there.
So Vernon gets a chance to catch their breath a little bit here with the stopped clock.
Is he? Oh. Was he down before?
I don't know, but I do know that you can see right here the official is signaling that he's out of bounds.
Watch this play right here.
Ball's on the ground.
Oh my, ball's on the ground and Coquitlam picks it up and it's not going to matter now. because Coquitlam gets the turnover, and you got to think this is going to be close to ball game. Under 2 minutes to go here, still a 2-score game, and all the time on the side for Coquitlam.
Yeah, they tried to give it to O'Dwyer again, and there were 3 or 4 Coquitlam shirts in the backfield, so I don't know what the miscommunication was, but it was pretty much a jailbreak up front, and O'Dwyer's stuck in that tough position where just as he's getting the ball, he's getting hit. Ball ends up on the turf, and it's one of those names we've been calling a lot today. Alec McNamara coming up with it.
So big-time players come up with big-time plays, and we've seen that on both sides of the ball here today. Alec McNamara, number 42 for Coquitlam, having himself a heck of a game. As you take a look at Patricio Cuesta Leon, he hands it off to Tavon Simon, who goes up the gut. And, yeah, there's just all about playing the clock now at this point.
Yep, I would expect to be seeing pretty much this for the rest of the ball game, because if you're Coquitlam at this point, you're going, okay, well, unless we make a catastrophic mistake, this isn't enough time for these guys to score twice on us.
So a good shot of the sideline there of Coquitlam's coaching staff, as they are hoping to lock down this junior Bantam Division 9-man championship. Got coming up on 90 seconds to go, and they hand the ball off. It's Flomo, and he breaks one tackle. Oh, sheds the second one, able to cut it up, and does he stay in bounds?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Yeah, his elbow with the ball in hand hit the ground before he rolled out of bounds. So that's the right call.
Wisdom, Flomo there, breaking that tackle, a good one as
Shifty.
Carr tries to wrap him up, and he can't. In comes the other defender, that's Owen West. And eventually he's taken down there by Oliver Harkness.
Nice tackle the play, actually.
Flomo with that big touchdown that put them ahead.
So now Coquitlam is really working the clock. You can see Cuesta Leon checking with the referee, how much time do I have, and they're just going to keep the ball on the ground, keep that clock rolling. Pickup of only 2, but at this point in time, it doesn't really matter that much how much you're picking up. It just matters that you extend the drive as much as you can.
Under a minute now, and it's running. 50 seconds to go. As Coquitlam, yeah, just taking their time. They're in no hurry here. They can smell a championship.
Well, and it wouldn't surprise me if this gets to 3rd down, they just straight up take the penalty.
And they hand it off once again, just ball security at this point. Simon, stay in bounds, and he does, and then he's out of bounds. But that's going to be a first down anyway, and it's not going to matter. As Coquitlam, they can sense it, and the fans, they know it, as they are about to take home the Junior Bantam Division 9-man Provincial Championship in what was a hell of a game. As you'll see the replay here, Simon getting that first down, just sheds through a tackle, takes 2 other guys to take him down. But they know, as the clock will start as soon as the ball is snapped.
Yeah, you can see Coquitlam can smell that championship, that momentum you can see on that play, right? The Vernon guys know that it's pretty much over at this point. The Coquitlam guys know that it's pretty much over in their favor at this point.
So victory formation here, and yeah, there's the knee, and that is going to do it as the clock will tick away here.
I think they might have to take a knee one more time.
Yeah, one more
here,
time, yeah.
But
as this will be the final
playing
play.
it by the book on the clock instead of doing the math and just going, okay, we're done here.
This will be the final play of the game, and there you have it, folks. They jumped out to an early lead. They saw Vernon score 20 unanswered, but Coquitlam comes back off the back of Wisdom, Flomo, and Alec McNamara, who put them ahead 35-26. A massive game from Patricio Cuesta Leon, and Coquitlam takes it. They are your Junior Bantam Division 9-man provincial champions here at McLeod.
everyone. Welcome to the BCPFA Provincial Champions. Thanks for coming out. Our team is a big honor both teams for the first game. Nice job, guys. Thanks some thank yous out of the way here. First of all, thank you to our sponsors, Dawson, Pro-Soft. Thank you to Land Environment Football for keeping us fed and helping with the facility. Great job, I always like coming here. The executives for the BCPFA, thank you very much for making me look good. You guys are rock stars. A lot of work went into this weekend, especially after performing last weekend with a big scramble. So, the executives were outstanding this week. Players, look up into the stands. Without mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, children, you're going to have to supporting you. Players, also look behind you or back. You have a bunch of coaches and managers that give up their time to make this happen. In the half. That's an award for never been done until this year. So people who know me, I'm a coach and president. I know how much work it takes to coach a football team. So if I could have a head coach for Coquitlam to come and accept the game ball, please. So to emphasize the scoring award, going to a little bit drama from the Coquitlam Chargers. Okay, and our first MVP is from Vernon, number 20, Bantam. Okay, the MVP for Coquitlam Chargers is number 2, BCO. Okay, if I could have the captains of the Coquitlam Chargers up here, please.
Coquitlam Chargers.